Hi again, Angel Krause. This is going to be the introductory video to your first module in EDUC 638. By this time you should have already watched the orientation video, which is about a 14-minute video on the course as a whole, kind of what the goal of the course is as you begin to think yourself as a health teacher as well, because every teacher is a health teacher. We're going to kind of grapple with that this semester a bit. So this video is going to be a video going over specifically every assignment in Module 1 step by step. Moodle is still waking up for the semester, so it may take a little while for them to load, but we'll go ahead and work through that to make sure that you're able to see everything. So for Module 1, the module runs from Monday, August 28th all the way to September 10th. Our modules are 2 weeks in length. In this module, you're really going to get an introduction to where do our students stand generally. So you're going to read a little bit about a nation at risk and why we need comprehensive school health education. So you're going to look at a little bit of stats and some different things. So let me just kind of walk you through the module. Another note I wanted to make before I get into the content is that we do have optional virtual meetings. So every module or so, I will be in our virtual classroom. The link is right here. You can just click on it. We use Adobe Connect for our virtual classroom. Click on that just a few minutes before the open office hours, and you can come in, ask any questions about the course, about assignments, about how to work through different things, and that is a great way to connect. So it's a similar format to this where you have live video, live chat, live pages where you can see everything. So there is a optional virtual meeting on this Thursday, upcoming Thursday, August 31st. And I will be there and available for questions between 3:30 and 4:30 in the virtual classroom. So in Module 1, again, we're going to be taking a look at kind of an introduction to why do we need to have health education, what's the current setting like, and what is going on in students' both social, emotional, and physical health. And so we're going to kind of set the tone for that. Module 1 is the only module that's broken into 2 parts, and the reason is that we need to get you guys into Moodle, and we need to get at least one assignment submitted by the end of the first week. So this part 1 is really an introductory section, and you want to have this finished by 11:55 on Thursday. If you finish it at midnight on Thursday, it's actually going to show a Friday submission date, so that's why that 11:55 number is in there. So the first question here is a quick survey. I just want to know your current student teaching placement. If you're not in a placement, there's that option as well. So all of my multiple subject options, single subject options, and if you are currently a non-field based teacher that you don't have placement, you can go ahead and note that, and I will it'll categorize everybody down here so that we can see kind of who's in the same situation as us. Are you early in the program, later in the program, teaching full-time, just to allow how I can best support you in the program and in this course. The next little assignment that you're going to do is assignment 1.1. Anytime there is a numerical assignment, that's going to be points that will then be linked to your grade book. So this is Module 1, Assignment 1. This is just a quick introduction form, and what I want you to do in this is to provide your name, your current program, your intended month and year of completion, a little bit about how you came to teach, why do you want to be a professional educator, and a little bit about yourself. Lastly, I want you to create a said no health teacher ever saying to share. There are some examples here, but you want to make sure that you write yours from the perspective of a health teacher. And I've already posted mine down here, so take a look at that. It tells you a little bit about myself, my background, and then I have my meme there as well. So that's going to be the second item in that first part of the module that you want to do. So after you let me know about your student teacher placements, you do an introductory forum. There are directions on how to update your Moodle profile. This Moodle profile follows you through all of your courses, and it just gives us a little bit more information. So after you get that submitted no later than this Thursday, you're going to dive into a couple of readings and a little bit of our Meeks textbook that we have. The textbook is quite large. Let me go ahead and grab it here. So this is the 7th edition, and as you can see, it's really thick. But do not be intimidated by it, because this book is a really, really great resource book. So if you rented it, hopefully you like it so much that you actually go back and buy the version. So this part of the book, this is all lesson plans. It's all things that you can use. It's broken down by grade level, by topic, and so over half the book is going to be lesson plans. The other half of the book we're not going to read in its entirety. We're going to focus in on the first couple of chapters, and then we're going to then use the resources of those middle chapters. So just wanted to make a note of that. When you get the book, it's kind of overwhelming, but once you know that over half of it is lesson plans, then it becomes a great resource. So you're going to start this portion, part 2 of the module, by taking a look at an article by Bosch. And this article really frames the whole class. It's called Healthier Students Are Better Learners. So in this article, you're going to read only sections of it again. I really want to make this 1-unit class workable and doable, so anytime where you're just reading sections of a text or of an article, just make sure that you read the directions fully so you don't read all of the pages. So you're going to read pages 1 through 11 and then 61 through 77 in the Bosch article. There's a lot of information in between, but really make sure you just zone in on these 2 page areas, okay? You're not required to read the full report. If you want to save it and read it later in your spare time, that's up to you, but only read this section. Then you're going to reflect on how this information affects you as a future, or actually I need to change that to current teacher in our school system, because we have so many independent teachers right now. So I'm just going to make note to change that. And now that you know this information, describe one opportunity that you have in the near future and one challenge that you're going to encounter related to the reading, okay? You always want to use your text to support your stance, okay? So use the Meeks, use any of the other texts that we use. So here you definitely want to be citing Bosch. So after you have reflected, you want to respond to just one other colleague in the course. So as you guys do these discussions, I'm not requiring you to continue to come back over and over again, but engage in conversation, because that conversation is really rich. We do use APA format throughout the entire education program at Fresno Pacific, and as you move into a master's program, whether that's an MAT program or another master's program, APA is going to be what they use in education. So there are a couple of examples here to support that. Anytime you do a discussion, you want to go ahead and hit add a new discussion topic. That will bring up a whole page for you to fill out with the title and with adding in information. So I really enjoyed this reading because it really sets the stage for how health, and we're going to be looking at physical, emotional, and social health of our students impacts their learning. So this kind of sets the stage. So you'd fill in your subject, put your message there, and then hit post to forum. You can also upload attachments, but for all of the forums, please post your actual text in the message box. We don't want to have to open up another document, and actually historically I found that students won't read your post if you attach it. So you need to copy and paste your information into here from your other document. All right, so after you guys have completed the introductory form where you introduce yourself, you've looked at that article or that report about healthier students being better learners, you're then going to dive into your first wiki in the course. And wikis are pages that everybody has access to edit. And then you just kind of compile and you add to it. So I'm going to make sure that I have all of these all ready for you. So if you ever get to a wiki and it's not available, just let me know. Oftentimes I just have to hit create page and then it creates it for you to edit. So when you edit a wiki, the only thing that I ask is that you be very careful to keep everybody else's work. So it's just like a Google Doc. If you erase it, I can go find it, but it just takes a little bit of work to go find it, okay? So we will all be adding to this. So just make sure that you have your name and you follow any of the prompts or any of the post directions that are here. So for this particular wiki, you're actually going to, using the reading that you just completed by Bosch, you're going to take on a role of a student, and he looks at 7 different priorities, and they're all listed here. And you're going to make sure that you understand the corresponding pages in his article, and you're going to speak from that student's perspective. And what I encourage you here is to really think about how would you feel as a student who is working with some of these health challenges in their lives, and how you then experience education. At the very end of the post, make sure you just add your name. That makes it a little bit easier for me to spot check it. I, of course, because it's a wiki, can go back and see the history of it, but if you add your name, that'll just make it a little bit better and easier for everybody who's participating in that wiki. Wikis are essentially a self-assessed assignment throughout the whole course. So when you do wikis, we are looking at are you completing it to the best of your ability, and are you putting your full effort forward, and you do a self-assessment on the wikis at the end of every module. Assignment 1.3 is going to be looking at chapter 1 in your textbook. Okay, so you are going to read the whole chapter 1, and I want you to take notes in however manner it makes sense for you to take notes. You can focus in on the topics that are here, but you want to gain a big understanding of what is the textbook talking about. Why are we even talking about health when you're not a health credentialed teacher? All right, so you want to read, take notes, and then reflect. And this is going to be a regular added assignment submission, so you just hit add submission. You can drag and drop your document from any place on your computer and upload it there. Right here you have file submission option, so you can drag and drop into this box, or if you wanted to do an online text where you copy and paste from your Word document, you can do that as well. All right, so after completing the 1.3 assignment, you'll want to move into 1.4. And 1.4 is going to be a quick quiz. It is an open book quiz. You can take it as many times as needed in order to get a perfect score. So you might want to peruse chapter 2 ahead of time before you jump into that quiz. But again, it's just formative. So you can take that quiz as many times as needed. At the end of every module, you'll see Module 1 Wrap-Up and Self-Evaluation, which is a journal, and a quick survey. So with the Module 1 Wrap-Up and Self-Evaluation, what you're going to do is you're going to get into that journal. This is a journal directly just between you and me. No one else in the class can see it. So this is a great way to process what you've learned in the module, ask any clarifications, and then think about where your next steps might be. So each of the module wrap-ups have 3 questions. Really brief, 1 or 2 sentences per question. Definitely do not need to be a paragraph, and it actually notes that. A sentence or 2 per question will help guide how I guide you in the course. So what is the most important topic or idea that you found in the module? What topic, idea, or assignment needs more clarification? And then develop some sort of a research question that you might want to study in the future. We're not going to study that in this course, but what's your next step? So if you're learning about a topic that's really interesting, what might be another step? And then here's the self-evaluation that you're going to complete at the end of every module. So in this module, you did a reply in 1.1, a reply in 1.2, and you did that student perspectives wiki. So you want to go ahead and copy this. And then when you start or edit your journal, you can just paste it right into your journal. It makes it really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and start or edit my journal. If it doesn't copy over right, sometimes you just have to do it here. Let's see if I can get it going right as well. Let's see. There we go. So you can just copy and paste this chart directly into your journal entry and hit Save Changes. One quick note on the journal before I wrap up this video is that in the journals, I do not get notifications that you've posted again. So if you post in the journal and I post back, if you have more conversation that needs to go on, let's go ahead and move that conversation to our email. The last item is going to be to take a quick survey about how many hours it took you to complete this module. And since this is a 2-week module, ideally it should take you somewhere around 10 hours to complete. But this just helps me track and make sure that I'm keeping all of the modules about balanced throughout the course. Well, that's a full overview of Module 1. If you have any questions about Module 1, what you need to do, please email me, give me a call, or stop by Barch Hall. All right, and I hope that you enjoy our first module as we begin to look at the health of your students.